Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a short and sweet little review on Dune by Frank Herbert. Dune by Frank Herbert is a sci-fi novel that actually inspired a lot of our modern day science fiction movies and merchandise and literature. It's a pretty big deal, and it's loved by, I would say, maybe not millions, but a lot of people love this book. It's a classic. I think everyone should read it. They're coming out with a movie in October about this book, so I thought I would go ahead and pick it up and read it for myself, and I really enjoyed it. Dune follows political fighting, I guess I'll say. It follows the House of Atreides and also the House of Harkonnens. So if I butcher anything, please forgive me. But basically, the House of Atreides moves to Dune to become their new, ruler over Dune, and they have an emperor who has appointed this. And the Atreides family, that includes the main character Paul, is getting hunted down by the Harkonnens. And they kind of know, going to Dune is a trap, and that their heads are going to have a big sum attached to it. But I went ahead and read it. It was quite intimidating, I'm not going to lie. It's science fiction, which isn't horrible. I read a lot of science fiction, but it's like an 800-page book. So it's super long and it's super intimidating because I do tend to think this is a classic. And typically I don't enjoy reading classics, if that makes any sense. But I did enjoy this book. It follows Paul and his family, Lady Jessica and Duke Leto. And I loved the book. I'm not going to say too much in this review because I don't want it to be a spoiler review, and it's also going to be something sweet and short. But basically, I think I would have to read this book another 2-3 times before I actually have a good review for you guys, just because it is that complicated. It's very political in a way that it's not political as into what's happening in the US right now, but it's political because it has its own politics. And you have to kind of understand their politics and their universes and their planets and their methods to kind of understand it. And going in on the first read, you kind of just get yourself acquainted with the characters, acquainted with what is this. I found myself questioning a lot of things, okay, he talks about these things like we know what they are sometimes, and it kind of threw me for a loop. I also got names really confused. That's my fault. That's not the author's fault. That is my fault. And so I was like, wait, isn't that character dead? And then I was like, no, I'm thinking about so-and-so. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure, but who is this person? And so I read more than half the book and had mixed up these two characters, and it kind of just, it didn't add anything to my reading experience, but that was my personal fault. It wasn't Frank's fault at all. I'll call him Frank, because that's his name. But I really enjoyed the writing style of this book. There's a lot of inner monologue. I'm excited to see the movie because I'm excited for it to give me clarity, and also I'm very excited to see what they do with this book. In this novel, there was a lot of almost glossing over a few things to the point of there's a time jump in this novel, and it threw me for a loop, and I was like, what is happening? I am so confused. But it's such a good book. That's what I'm trying to say, is it's such a good book that I really enjoyed reading it, even though I don't completely understand it, and that's why I can't completely give you a really in-depth review. I do think you guys should read it. I'm excited to see what the movie does because I feel like I'll be able to see who is who, and I think that will help me a little bit. And then after seeing the movie, I'll go ahead and go back to this book and read it again and maybe see it in a whole new light or see things that I didn't see before. But basically, like battles and things, it was kind of just mentioned, and we didn't really get to see a lot of action, which is fine. I really liked Paul's character and Jessica's character. I think I said that in a review previous. I loved the kind of, it's not their power, but it's their way of knowing everything. It's their intelligence, almost just of simply watching how somebody interacts with another person, or little things that they do tells them everything about their life. And I think that that is awesome. I think that that's such a cool skill, and I don't think it's too far-fetched to be able to do that in the actual world. So I those would probably be my two favorite characters. I did like Chani. She was fun. I did like some of the Fremen. And that's about all I can give you guys without spoiling it. I can't wait to see the movie. I hope to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, but highly recommend it. I'm gonna give it, so how I rate books is how I enjoyed them. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 for my enjoyment, simply because I need to go back and reread it, but for writing and the story and all of that, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think this is a brilliant book, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it, but again, I don't think that this is for everybody in the whole universe. I think that if it takes a certain person to enjoy this book, and I know that I did, but I definitely could benefit from reading it once or twice more. So I'll go ahead and leave it there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!